What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. I am Ashley, for those of you who are new, and today's video is going to be like a story time slash life update. So if you guys are interested, keep watching. So, excuse me, y'all. My nose is itching. So, y'all, a lot has happened in my life, like the past 2 months, 3 months, or however long I've been gone. And I'm going to be using this Black Girl sunscreen, my favorite, to use under my makeup. So I am getting ready to go on a lunch date. Now, for the last 2 months, right, a lot has been going on, like I said. I am just getting back into the dating world, and it's trash. It is so trash. But I recently let go of my 14-year-long relationship, and me and him had kind of been back and forth for years. But this time, it was totally different. I felt different, and the way that it was let go was different. Anyway, let me just get in the story. And in between, I'm gonna talk and I'm gonna just use my product. So I'm using the Elf primer. Let me see, Elf Power Grip Primer, and I love this. This is like the milk. I think I've already used this on this channel, but anyway. So a couple of months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, my relationship was coming to a close, right? Like we had been having issues for a long time, and we had been together for so long, and we were just kind of going through the motions of being with each other. Like everything was totally different, and we both just kind of wanted to walk away but didn't want to walk away. So anyway, one particular weekend, we had got into it. A long story short, he didn't come home, and that was the end. So in that process, right, I was doing my own thing. A week later, I was with my church passing out flyers, and I met this man. And in the manner that I met him, it was crazy. I thought that it was going to be something that was going to be long term. But anyway, so I meet this man a week later after I break up with my long term relationship. And this man was so like everything. When I say everything, everything. He was tall, he was bald, he was attractive, he was educated, he had his own everything. Everything that would normally check all of my boxes, right? So he approached me, asked me for my number. Or no. Yeah, he asked me for my number, and then he changed his mind. He said, "You know what? No, take mine so I know that it's real. You call me if you're interested." So I waited a day. A day. Called him. That day we talked for about 30 minutes, and he said he would have to call me back. So when he called me back, he tried to initiate a date that night. He asked what I was doing. I said I'm going to be catching up on some shows that I like to watch. I'm not going to be able to do anything with you today, so maybe another day. So he said, fine, how about the weekend? And I'm like, okay, cool. So we set it up, end up meeting at this Mexican place. I love Mexican food, by the way. So Mexican place. We both order. Neither one of us really ate the food. I had one drink, he had a drink. But like he was so like on it, like from the start to the date to the finish. Like he opened up the door, he pulled my chair out. He was so gentleman like he did everything that a woman would expect should expect a man to do. So we talked and we talked. Come to find out, he went to my high school, but he graduated the year that I came in as a freshman. So I did not know him. We never crossed paths, didn't know him. Found out also that he went to the same middle school as me. So that was pretty exciting to hear stories, from another person's perspective of, where they went to school at. So it was real cool. We both sat there for a minute laughing, joking. He was real easygoing, but at the same time his personality was huge. Like it was so huge, and it was so cool because I'm the total opposite. Like I'm a quiet person, I don't really talk a lot. But he was the total opposite. So um after a while we sat for at least, maybe I think it was like 2 hours in that place, sat and talked and laughed for 2 hours, and then we decided to leave, but we didn't want to call it a night. So he took me downtown, and we walked downtown by the water. They had this event going on, and I remember I followed him because I drove my car. I followed him to downtown. We parked in this unrestricted area, and I'm like, we can't park here. He said, oh, you know what, whatever, I'll pay your ticket. You get a ticket, I'll pay your ticket. I'm like, okay, cool. So we get out, we walk around. First place he take me to is down, right by the river. So, and I'm familiar with the area, but I'm not. I remember as a kid, like going down there with my godmother, and she would, take us down there and walk, and it was cool. But I had never came down there as an adult to sit. And the first thing he told me to do was look up, and it was a building, the building of human services, and it was like this horizon, like it was so beautiful. And I remember him saying, this, it doesn't even feel like you in Flint. And I'm like, it doesn't. So we sat there, then we walked across the bridge, then we walked up the street, and they had this event going on, like this concert, and I guess he knew the guy or whatever. And I remember, like, it was like a blur. It was so fun, and it was so spontaneous, and I remember it being like a blur, like walking through the crowds of people. We stopped at like 2 bars. I got some water, and like he was just so sweet. He opened up every door. He asked me, are you okay? Do you want anything? Is there anything you need? Do you, just every 5 minutes checking and reassuring that I was good. So we walking, and as we got closer to like a crowd, I told him I suffer from anxiety, and I don't really like being in a bunch of, a big crowd, especially with everything that was going on in Flint for like the past couple weeks. I'm like, I'm scared. I don't want to do it. So he looked at me in my face and he said, do you trust me? And I looked, I'm like, I don't know this man, but okay, yeah. So he took me by the hand. He led me into this crowd of people, and I remember gripping on his hand so tight, man. I was so scared. And we stood there for a minute, watched the guy perform, then we walked off. And I remember when we walked off, he asked me, he said, dang, your anxiety through the roof. He says, is there anything I could do to make this right? And I remember looking at him like, no, but thank you. Because I never had anybody care or ask me, how could they make this right? So at that moment, I knew in my mind, like, you know what? He cool. I like him, and I want him around for a while. So time went by. Okay, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use my concealer, and I'm using the Morphe. This is a fairly new concealer. I just got this like maybe a month ago. I've been holding on to all the stuff that I've been purchasing, and I haven't made a video, but we get into that. So this is the Morphe Filter Effect Concealer, and I have it in the shade Rich 28. And I'm going to use this in my areas that I normally use it. I got to clean up my brows too. So as time went on, like we started seeing each other all the time, like every single day. Like I spent almost every single day with this man, and feelings had started to develop. Like he was so kind and just everything that I thought that I wanted in a man. And not to mention, not only was he college educated, but he's also a member of Alpha Kappa. What is it? Alpha Kappa Psi? He was a noob. Okay, and we all know how smooth the noobs are. Like everybody they love them. I don't know anything about Greek life for real, but I just know that they are my favorite Greek fraternity. But anyhow, so time went on. We spent a lot of time together. We went on numerous dates. Second date was this this it was a bar on the rooftop, and it was inside of this hotel downtown Flint. Like everything that we seemed to do was based in Flint, like downtown, like walking downtown. Just everything we did was downtown. Almost everything we did was downtown. And I remember the second date. Um, I feel like I'm rushing. I'm rushing the story. This might need to be a part two video because it was so short lived, but it felt like it was so long, man. Man. So, um, the drama, that I don't think that was the second date. The second date, that was the third date. So let me back up to the second date. So this is when the incident. Okay, so I had been part. Let me just get. I'm stammering and stuttering. It's so much to say, and I feel like I got so little time. But this is where the drama came in at. So the second date, I can't really remember the second date, but I know that we hung out again at the river after we went where we went, and I can remember telling him, we were talking, and I told him, I said, I had just gotten out of a relationship, a week prior to meeting you, and blah 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 blah. So he said, okay, I understand. So, this same night, and mind you, I had been parking my car at a hospital to meet him because I didn't want him to know where I lived at the time because I didn't know this man that well. So I didn't know how that would turn out. So I would park my car at Hurley, and I would meet him there. He would pick me up there, and we would go from there. So this particular night, my ex had showed up. He was bringing, okay, so the guy was bringing me back to my car. Date was over. He was bringing me back to my car. And he got out to walk me to my car. And he leaned in to give me a kiss goodnight and a hug. And the very next thing I heard was, I seen out the corner of my eye my ex car pull up, and he said, so this what we doing? I was so like bewildered. I didn't know what to do. Like I was so nervous and scared, and I don't even know why I was nervous and scared because we had already established that our relationship was done. It was over. I'm seeing other people. I was honest with him, and I told him this. So he pulled up and he said, so this is what we doing? And I must have turned around, and I hear the new guy say, so this for you? And he was so calm, cool, and collective. I'm like, yeah, I'm so sorry. And my ex going off, like, not going off like that. So this, he said, this is what we doing. And I said, I told you, I just told you Thursday when I saw you that it was over. I was seeing somebody new. It is what it is. So he started to say something. New guy told him. He said, so yeah, so I can remember him telling him like, hey man, go home, call her later. You're making her uncomfortable. Just go home, call her later. So about maybe half a minute he drove off, and he was asking me, was I okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. I apologize for the situation because I'm not a messy person. It's one thing I don't do, and I don't do messy, and I don't do drama. So I immediately apologized for that situation because, and I was happy that I had told him hours prior what had happened, because I'm sure it would have been a different outcome had I not told him that. But he ended up following me home because he said that he was worried. So I let him follow me home. After I got in the house, my ex bamming on the door. He's mad. He's bamming, bam, bam, bam. And I wouldn't let him in. I told him, I said, go home, Will. I told you that it was over. I don't have anything else to say. Please leave me alone. And he did. So that was pretty much the end of that. So now I'm seeing a new guy. We going everywhere. We're out in public together. We're holding hands. We together. Like, status on relationship on Facebook done changed. And I ain't never claimed nobody on Facebook. I was with somebody for 14 years and I never claimed him because he just wasn't doing what he should have been doing as a boyfriend. Like, he was out here embarrassing me, having me look like a dumb fool, like had me out here looking stupid. So I never claimed him. But this guy, he sent me a relationship request. I accepted it, and this was soon, and this was real soon, y'all. And I know, y'all, like, I already know this was soon. It was way too soon, but I just went with how I was feeling, and at the time I felt like it was right. Like, he was checking all my boxes, as they would say. So I'm going to use this e.l.f. putty primer, and this is the, let me see, I forgot what color this is. Sun Kissed. So he sent me a friend request. We're claiming each other on Facebook. We out here in these streets having a good time. Like, we just out here just living life, just wonderful, like feeling good, just all of that. So and I feel like, and I still will say, like, this relationship was a blur. Like, anytime we were together, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anytime we were together, it just felt like a big blur. And I never understood why, and I never questioned it either. But we just always had a good time. Like, he took me on plenty of dates, a rooftop bar, and he always took pictures. Every single date we went on, he took pictures. He had me take pictures with my phone. We sent them to each other. Like, just as he was very, what you would like to call, he was very sentimental, right? So, like, a couple of weeks go by, right? And he has kids. He has as many kids as I do. So, he had his mother's children, and he told me that he was involved with her before he had met me, but they weren't together. They were in like a situationship or whatever people call it. I don't know, but they weren't together like that. So about a week later, he informs me via text message, and I ignored the red flags, beforehand, because I remember he would talk about her, but he wasn't talking about her enough to where it was questionable. Like, well, do he still have feelings for this lady? Like, what's gonna go on? Like, what is this? But he brought her up every now and again, and it never really came up as a red flag in my mind. I'm like, okay, well, I understand. I get it. I have, children with someone too. I understand. So it was never, questionable to me. But this one week, I remember I was at church. I remember being at church, and I had just seen him hours prior to this, and he shot me a text message that said, here it is. I can't do this. You're a great person, but I can't offer you what you need right now, and blah 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 blah. And basically, that was it. So I called him. I'm in my church bathroom crying. Don't judge me, y'all. I'm in my church bathroom crying on the phone, like, what do you mean? And I was blindsided by this. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, like, what's up? I just seen you. Like, what's going on? Well, I asked him, I said, so you must be going back to your children's mother. And he said, yes. He said, and he was honest with me. He said that she felt like he didn't give her the same energy as he had given me. And he didn't want to think in his mind the what if. So, in a nutshell, he went back to her. He snatched our relationship status down. I was embarrassed as hell. Like, how you gonna do me like that, sir? How you gonna do me like that? So, next thing I know, I'm getting phone calls. I'm embarrassed. Like, people that are friends with him, are mutual friends with people that I know, they're calling me, asking me about what happened. And I had to be honest. Like, he decided to go back to his baby mother. I even made a TikTok video about it, and I was really hurt behind that because I wasn't expecting it. So, where is my foundation? And you guys, this is new foundation that I'm trying from Revolution. It's the IRL Filter Long Wear Foundation, breathable, soft matte, and I have it in the shade 14. Now, I've never tried this under my ring light. I did try it, and honestly, I think this might be a little too dark now. Now that now that it is fall and my skin is changing colors, this might be too. Oh, no, buddy, that's ashy. We not gone. I'm not even about to play with that. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna have to go with a different foundation because I'm not even about to play with that because I'm on my way somewhere. But let me. Okay, so back to what I was saying, right? So he went back to his baby mother, and he talked to me, and he asked me, was I okay? And I said, I really didn't have a choice but to be okay. And the foundation that I'm using, you guys, before I get started, is the L'Oreal Infallible. And I want to say I just used this in another video, but I had picked up a different one, and this is in the shade Sienna 355. I think this one fits much better for me. So contacted me, asked me, was I okay with everything? And I'm like, I don't really have a choice but to be okay. That's your decision. That's, what it is. It is what it is. I'm not mad at you. I understand, because I done snatched my kid's father back a few times. And that's exactly what I told him, I understand how it goes. But nevertheless, I was still hurt. So, I think like a week go by, or maybe it was 2 days later. I can't really remember because, like I said, it seemed like every time I was with him or around him or involved in him, it was a blur. So Friday, I noticed that he had blocked me on Facebook, and I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I didn't have any issues with you. You said that that's what you were doing. I would respect your decision, and I told him, I wouldn't contact him again, because that's what he was doing. And he was like, cool, but it blew me that he had blocked me on social media, and maybe that was his right to do that, but I've never had anybody block me on social media because, I'm a nice person. I don't be for all that mess. So I texted him and asked him, and he said, well, I just thought that you never, you didn't want anything else to do with me. And I'm like, well, you ain't never really did nothing to me. It's cool. You were a cool person. It is what it is. I'm not mad. So he then asked me, he called me and he asked me a question, and it was something related to how do you know if you made the right decision. And I had told him that, when you make decisions, you have to go based off of what you feel, how you feel and how it's going to make you feel. So later on, I want to say later on in the day, or maybe this was the day before, he asked to see me Friday. Now, my judgment wasn't the best judgment, right? So I agreed to meet up with him Friday. We met up at this park that we used to walk at. And basically, he told me that he made the wrong choice, made the wrong decision. Would I be interested in working things out with us? And I should have said no. I never should have let him do that. And that's why I went wrong at. I should have said no. But I didn't, because I really had developed feelings for this man very, very quickly. And like, we bonded and we meshed so well together. Like it was like an amazing time. It was an amazing feeling. And I wasn't ready to let that go. It had been a long time since I had been treated how I wanted to be treated. So I wasn't really ready to let it go. And I told him, yes, if that's sure what he wanted to do, because I told him, I said, this in and out energy, I don't do that. It's one thing to be like, okay, I made a bad choice or I made a mistake and try to right your wrongs, but it's another to run in and out. So I told him that, and he said, I totally agree, and I promise, I won't do that, and we're gonna see where things go. So that's what we did. So weeks go by, we enjoying each other, having a good time. And he did something that I did not like. Oh yeah, he embarrassed me again. And this is just me in my mind. Like, you embarrassed me. He was supposed to go to church with me. He had, weeks before, he had called my pastor before I agreed to he had called my pastor a week prior, and he expressed that he wanted to get married to me and he wanted to start marriage counseling. And my pastor had contacted me and asked me, and I said yes. And he said, okay, well, how about we set up a time after church and we'll talk about it. And I said, okay, cool. So he was supposed to meet with me and him after church. He was supposed to come with me, and we went out the night prior. Friend had a comedy show, and we went to the comedy show the night prior to that. Now, after the comedy show, I was supposed to go back with him to his place, right? But I had forgotten that I agreed to go back to his place. So he was upset about that. He said, you want to go get your bag? And I said, before I could even get a chance to say anything, he had already made up in his mind that I had already made up in my mind that I wasn't going. But the thing about it was, is I was thinking about all of the things that I had to do before church tomorrow. I had to get my kids clothes. But anyway, situation blew up. The next morning, he texted and said that he wasn't going to make it to church. Now, the night before, he told me he was going to make it, and he would see me in the morning. Just, I'm going home. I'll see you at church in the morning. Next day, he messaged me and tell me that he wasn't coming. He was trying to be funny and say that he wasn't coming because he had forgot, just like I had forgot to come over to his house. Now, it was okay for him to be upset about me not coming. Cool. But for you to try to embarrass me, like, I felt like he did it purposely, which he did. I felt like that was unacceptable. So when I got out of church, I called him and I told him, no, I sent him a text message. I said that I feel like I'm not equipped to deal with what you're trying to put out, and I feel like you have a bad temperament, and I don't like it. I don't like how you do things, and basically this isn't going to work for me. So broke it off with him. I ain't never had this on and like I've been in on and off, and I'm using my Fenty powder, guys, to set my concealer. And I've been, back and forth with people before, break up the makeup, whatever, but never this extreme. Like, I never in this short amount of time have I broken up with somebody, gotten back with somebody, and it's crazy. It was just mad crazy, yo. So he thought that I was trying to get revenge for him breaking up with me a week prior to go back with his baby mama, and it wasn't like that. It was just that you embarrassed me for the second time. Like, you don't do that. Like, I don't do embarrassment. And I was really hurt. So by the end of the next week, we were back together. By the following week, we were no longer together. Another week come, my birthday come up, we're together. And I guess this is after my birthday, things had really just kind of went downhill. And we had all these plans to go and elope. Like, he wanted to elope. I didn't want to elope. Like, it was just crazy. Like, I've been proposed to many times before, but never this fast. So I was thinking in my mind, like, why is it that he wants to marry me so fast? But then I thought about it, like, well, this man don't need nothing from me. He don't need to live with me. He doesn't need money from me. He doesn't need a car from me. He does not have a need for anything from me. So I didn't see it like he, was just marrying me just to get something, because he already had everything that he needed. He don't need nothing from me. So I didn't think no more of it. So the agreement was, okay, well, not now, but next year, let's give it a year. And we agreed to get married on my birthday the following year. So then we break up and we come to an agreement. Okay, well, we're just going to elope. So we had plans to elope. These plans consisted of going to apply for a marriage license. This Friday, and Fridays was our day. Like, we would spend every Friday together. He was, okay, when I met him, he was a general manager over a hotel. Then he went from that to teaching, substitute teaching. And we would have Fridays together. Because I'm off every Friday. So, we were planning to get married on a particular Friday, but we had to get the licenses first. So he had to find his birth certificate. I had to dig mine out, and we were going to go from there. Never made it. Never applied. Never. So this last, the last breakup was on me. We have been having a good time partying, and this particular Saturday, we were supposed to come back together, because he would, come here and then go home, and we would spend time at each other's house or whatever. And this particular weekend, he decided to go home. We, and I hate to, we were doing gummies, and he didn't feel safe going into a new environment. I wanted to go play cards at a friend of mine's cousin's house, and I always, not always go over there, but I'm familiar with his home, and I know them very well. And I invited him. He decided not to go, which was, understandable. I understand this is a new environment. You don't know these people from Adam. I get it, but he ended up not coming. So when I got from where I was coming from, I called him and told him I had made it home. So we talked on the phone, FaceTimed, and we were talking about something. And he said something like, yeah, luckily I'm single or something. I said, oh, so you single now? And he was like, yeah, I told you, that we weren't together. I wasn't going to give you a title because of you breaking up with me the last time. And I don't want that to happen. And if we made it to Friday, then we'll be married. So, and earlier, prior to this, and this story is so all over the place. I hate that I'm all over the place, but it's so much. And I'm trying to cram everything in so quickly. Earlier that day, he was saying that he wasn't sure, and we needed to talk about this marriage. And he was saying that we didn't really know each other, and which I agree, because we did not. And so I understood, but in my mind, I felt like he was playing a game with me. Like, okay, you're not going to give me a title because we're supposed to get married, but now you're uncertain if you want to get married. So in my mind, this is a game. This is a game that he's playing. I'm not going to participate. It is what it is. I'm done. So I told him, you know what? Whatever this is, I'm walking away from it. So the next day, we talked, and we came to the conclusion, that okay, we're not done with each other, but we're definitely not gonna get married right now. We're not gonna get a title. We're just, I guess, when I see you, that's when we're together, and we'll, it's like that. So, it was just kind of downhill from there. Like, we still hung out. He still came over. He still wanted to do things that people in relationships do. He was still calling, but I kind of noticed that his attention was kind of diverting from me, and it was going somewhere else. I don't know. He was going through a lot too, with his kid's mother and just all of that drama that they have going on. So, I kind of understood it, and I just kind of stood. I told him I was going to fall back, and he got upset because I said I was going to fall back. But I mean, what do you expect me to do? I'm not going to beg for any man's attention. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to beg you for a title. I'm not going to beg you for your attention. I'm going to fall back. We could be cool. So basically what it came down to, this very last straw is that he had just come over to my home the day before, right? And we were chilling, and like, he was making all of these statements like, yeah, we're gonna get married, like, just basically just in my mind playing games, like dropping all of these, yeah, we're gonna be together, blah blah blah. So I asked him the next day, when he sobered up, I said, so what are we, like, what, and I feel stupid even saying this, because when you have to ask a man what are we, that's your answer right there. You should never have to ask a man that, y'all. Never. But I'm uncertain because all of the things that have transpired between us. So I'm confused. So I asked him, I said, so are we friends? Are we together? Like, what are we doing? Because he said the night before, we need to talk about us and what we're going to do. Because he kept asking, what we're going to do about us. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. And we never did. So I asked him the next day when he sobered up. And he said, you know what? We're friends. I said, okay, cool. And at this time, he was at work. I was at work. So I proceeded to tell him, I said, well, we're going to have boundaries. And I sent him a list of my boundaries. And I told him, I said, what's so messed up is that, everybody that I turned them down because I just wanted you. And why did I say that, y'all? He flew off the handle, Lord. He thought, I don't know why he thought, I guess in his mind, that I had no options. I mean, but really, do it look like I don't have no options? Like, and I don't even mean to be like fat, because I ain't the finest thing out here, but do it look like I would have a problem getting him in? Because I don't. But anywho, so he flew off the handles, and we going back and forth. We going back and forth, like saying things, and I don't like. I don't like. I'm telling you what I don't like. I don't like when people get me to come out of character, because I'm not that person. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like conflict. But you're not gonna talk to me crazy. You not. We ain't doing that. I'm not about that, and I'm not about to let nobody disrespect me. So we going in. We going there, like going there. I'm not gonna disclose what was said because it was a mess. But like, don't take me there. Like, I'm not her. I'm not that person. I don't like being that person. But dang it, don't take me there. I lost my religion talking to people. But basically, in a nutshell, that put a nail in the coffin for me, and I believe for him too. Cause like, nah, that's not what it is. I don't, like I said, I'm not about that life. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that relationship as a whole. And I offered, even as my friendship, he told me to F my friendship, and you know all of that. So it is what it is. Do I regret it? No. Was it something that I felt like I needed? Yeah, because had it not been for me meeting him, I never would have walked away from that lengthy relationship that I was in, man. And I needed to let that go. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have let that go. I still would have been with him, being miserable. But now I'm out here living free, how I want to be, being single. Is not all of the fun that everybody, pretends it is, because it's not. It gets lonely at times, but I feel like I'm in a better place because I don't have to go to sleep at night and worry about who's cheating on me or who's doing what to me or who's just doing the most. Like, I could sleep peacefully at night. So am I happy that I met him? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I will say that he treated me like a lady, even up until the very end. Like, even up to the very night, the last night that I saw him, he's still opening doors. He's still, just all of that. So I don't regret meeting him. I thought it was a wonderful experience. Should I have gotten involved and so invested so fast? No. I wish that I would have slowed things up, and maybe, things would have worked out better. But I know that, in my mind, I feel like what's for me is for me. And nobody will be able to take it away. What's for me is for me. And I haven't met that one person that I'm supposed to be with for the rest of my life yet. And I'm okay with that for right now. I'm going to just continue to date and do me. Like, and just, it's a learning process for me. Because I've been in relationships dang near my whole life. Almost half. So I don't want to be committed to anybody, but I want to have fun, and I want to enjoy myself, and I want to get out here and have a good time. And that's pretty much it. Like, I don't have any high expectations for anybody right now. I don't have my eye on anybody right now. I just want to just enjoy life. So that is what I'm doing. I have a date. I know y'all thinking like, dang, she moved fast. Well, time waits for no man. So I have another a date this afternoon. I was supposed to go on a breakfast date with an old classmate, but he flaked on me. So I'm going to move on to the next one, And sometimes, and I hear a lot of women say that you got to build you a roster of men. And I've never been that type, because I'm like just a one person relationship type person. I don't want to be with a whole bunch of people. I don't want to, because that's hard. I feel like that's hard. I don't see how men keep up with all of the women that they talk to. Like, it's difficult. All those different personalities, all of those names to remember. And I suck. My memory is starting to suck. I just turned 36, y'all, in September. And I had thoroughly enjoyed my birthday. Like, I felt so loved on my birthday. It was mad crazy. But I just felt loved and I enjoyed every moment of it. Like, just every moment of it. Did it go exactly how I wanted it to? No. Was it fun? Absolutely. I surrounded myself by the most beautiful people that I know for a fact loves me. And I had a beautiful time, y'all. I just went to like a little bar and grill and had some of the world's best catfish. And I was content with that. And I went home and I was content. But yes, like what I am learning about myself is I'm learning a lot about myself, man. Even at my big grown age, y'all. Like, I'm in love with the idea of love, and I am better in a relationship. However, I don't mind being alone. Even if it's, and I think I'm gonna do a brown eye because I'm gonna it's time to bust out my boots. But I'm learning that it's okay to be alone for a little while. And my ex, he's in a new relationship and I am happy for him. And we still talk to this day. I feel like everything has come full circle in my life right now. And I get along with both of my children's father. There's no static. There's no misunderstandings. Like, there's no drama. And I'm happy for him. I always told him, I said, you being my best friend, and he was never the best man to me, and he knows that, but I'm happy for him. And I told him the last time I saw him, I said, I hope and I pray that the Lord works on you so that you can treat the next woman right. You can learn from this experience with me and you could treat her right, because love is so hard. Like, genuine people who care about you are hard to find. And when you find them, you don't jeopardize that. You don't. So I told him, even if it's not with me, I want him to be happy. And that's all that I ever wanted for him. And he seems to be happy. So I'm happy for him. We're co-parenting good. He comes to see his kids when he can. And it's just been, like I said, everything has come full circle, and I am appreciative of that. I don't know what the universe is doing for me, but I appreciate just that alone. That I can get along well with them too. I could be in the same room and not feel jaded or slighted or anything like that. So I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I just know that I just want to be happy. And I don't know who that's going to be with, but I just want to be happy. Even if it's by myself, I'm still happy by myself. I can entertain myself. I crack myself up. Shoot. And it's nothing wrong with that. I love having a companion. I love having somebody to go out with. I love having an adult person to talk to. But at the end of the day, is it needed? No. Is it wanted? Yeah. Can I do without it? Of course. But it's not as fun. But I would be lying to myself, if I said anything different. So we ain't doing that. I'm not gonna lie to myself. But yeah, as of right now, I'm just taking it super slow. And that was a lesson that I needed to learn. That was definitely a lesson that I needed to learn, that I got from that, which was go slow. Move at a turtle's pace, at a snail's pace, honey, and he wasn't a bad guy. We just weren't the right fit. He was a Scorpio too. And y'all know how the Scorpios is. And I had never been with a Scorpio. So that was an experience in itself. Like, he was a good dude, but he just wasn't the man for me. And I have to accept that and go on with that. So, but yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm just taking it day by day. I'm actually in school again. It's my second semester, and I'm sucking this semester, man. I'm having a difficult time this semester. He was a real distraction, man, but he was trying to help me catch up. But I'm gonna catch up and focus on what I need to focus on. So Yeah, but it was a good time while it lasted. I think I'm gonna take this light brown and pop it on my lid. So we trying to look casual. I don't really like that, but we're gonna go with it anyway. And then I'll blend it in. But yeah, it was a major life lesson, and it was okay. I'm happy that things went the way that they did. And had it not been for him, I wouldn't have been able to let him go. So I'm just glad about that. I thank him for that. But yeah, this life is full of experiences, and if you don't take chances, I remember he had this saying, "Chances make champions." Chances make champions. But yeah, it was cool. I'm good. Hopefully he's good and doing well. And yeah, I'm just leave it at that. So I'm gonna add a little bit of blush here. Just a little bit. I don't really want a whole lot. I probably shouldn't have added none, but just for color. Okay, so for my lips, I'm gonna take this e.l.f. retro liner and I'm gonna line my lips. I love this liner. I feel like it doesn't really show up on me that good though. I hate that part. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with this what is this? This is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist lip gloss. And I got this on clearance like months ago at Walmart. And it's like a nudie pink shade, and I really do like it. So I'm gonna use that. And this is real thin. The consistency is super thin, and I don't really care too much for super thin. But it's a pretty color though. Alright, so I'm gonna take my Fenty highlight and just highlight a couple places. And I feel like I went in too heavy on this corner here. I hate that. But it'll be okay. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and set and spray with this e.l.f. mist, the Stay All Night Microfine. I love this setting spray. It's one of my top favorites, man. It's so thin. Like the sprayer is just amazing. Okay guys, so I'm gonna apply my lashes and I'll be right back. Lashes, these are a little lengthy, more than what I'm used to wearing, but I gotta get my hair together so I can get ready to get up out of here, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time / life update. So if you guys like what you saw, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Oh no.
Hi. Oh. Okay, but like check the fit though. Don't mind the shoes because I just got home. I put my Crocs, but you know. I used to play.
The Norma. This.
Can you get no high five? No high five. Look at her. She rude. All right, people.